Hello, happy Sunday. Today is Sunday. My name is Stacy and this is Reads of an Apple, and I'm here to start my weekly vlog for week 39 of 2022. It is about 10:30 on Sunday night, which is a little later than I'm usually up, but I had the Broncos game and then I had 2 Avalanche games today. It is preseason and today they did a split squad, so one game was at 2 o'clock this morning and half of the squad was up in Minnesota. Unfortunately, nobody broadcasted radio, TV, anything for the morning game, so I just kept refreshing the app. But then at 7:30 tonight, the other squad played here at home in Denver against the Vegas Golden Knights. So we are already 2 out of the 6 preseason games through, and then the Broncos also played tonight as well. So lots going on. Tonight's also the season finale of Big Brother, which I will watch tomorrow morning. But I have some updates for you for reading that I did this weekend. So I finished Gold Rush by Jenny Bunting. This is the second book in the Finch family series. I kind of touched base a little bit on it in last week's vlog because I did start it last week, but I'm going to give this 4.5 stars. Pretty close to right after I updated on Friday. We got kind of past the friends to lover, or the enemies portion of enemies to lovers, so I really struggled with that. But so it was in the 35 to 40-ish% where they kind of finally stopped really being mean to each other, and Whitney really calmed down, and she was the one who was really bothering me with the enemies portion. But I enjoyed it. 4.5 stars, and I'm excited to see what happens next. It sounds like the third book, which I think is supposed to come out in December, is what I saw in her newsletter. I think that one's going to be Jackson's book, which means the fourth book will be Emily's book, the sister, and she's a single mom, so I'm excited for that. And it sounds like Jackson might be paired with a young girl named Shiloh who works at the brewery, so it will probably be age gap, grumpy sunshine, and then whatever happened with him to make him so grumpy, which I think is maybe a death of a lover or something super serious like that. But we will see when it comes closer to, I think, December. But anyway, back to Gold Rush. I did enjoy this. They kind of became friends very quickly, friends with benefits, and then I really kind of enjoyed it from there. I gave 4.5 stars just because I was kind of frustrated through that first 35-ish% with Whitney at times. And then the third act breakup, oh my gosh, you could see it coming a million miles away. And I just was so frustrated with Whitney. And I get that she's been hurt, but I felt bad for Reed that she kind of instigated the third act breakup. Poor Reed, but I enjoyed it. So, for all of my reading challenges, so for Fall in Love, I used this for an author that's wrecked by Shelby, and I don't know if this book specifically has been wrecked, but the first book I know was wrecked by Shelby, and that's how I found this series. So this is the second book in the Finch family series, and I know she at least recommended the first book. I think she gave this book 4 stars, but I know she's at least read the first couple. And I also saw there is, in the first book, Cameron is the hero. His best friend is Eugene, but he goes by Thumper. But there is talk about how he was at the bank and one of either Cameron's ex-girlfriends or Thumper's ex-girlfriends ends up holding up the bank in a chicken suit with her son's BB gun, and he gets kind of stuck with someone else there named Izzy, and there is a 2.5, I think it's a novella, but it's a 2.5 in the Finch family, and it's Thumper's story, and I am very excited. I cannot wait to read it. I already checked it out from KU. I just don't know when I'm going to get to it because I have a lot going on in my TBR for the next week, but I just wanted to throw that out there because that sounds super fun. So that was Fall in Love. For the Color Me Romantic Quarterly Challenge, which is being hosted on the Goodreads group Romance Readers Reading Challenges. The theme is all colors. There's 30 prompts based on colors. I chatted about it and kind of did a little announcement of it in last week's vlog. And then I also have it a full announcement on my blog. So check out that in my link tree if you want to know more. But I use this for the gold prompt, which is gold on the cover, which technically it says the word gold, but then it also is either a character that's wealthy or characters that want to be wealthy, and I would consider Whitney pretty wealthy. She makes at least $20,000 a month from her books, so to me that's pretty dang wealthy. I mean, I make almost that in a whole year, more than that, but that's most of my yearly salary, so that's crazy. And then finally, Bang in the Night is currently going, and I applied this for PSL vibes. And as I've mentioned in last week's vlog, when this started, the templates for mini reviews have a spot for a theme song, and for this year for Bang in the Night, I decided to do all Frank Sinatra songs, and specifically from his Reprise Rarities, which is 5 compilation albums that came out in 2020 and 2021 with a lot of rare versions and rare songs. And so for this one, I chose You Brought a New Kind of Love to Me, because that is something that they discuss in the book, and I use this for pumpkin spice latte vibes, so PSL vibes. And I'll link the Frank Sinatra song up here too, and if you're interested, if you want to listen to it. And then I did start, I'm not very far into, so I definitely need to read as much as I can tonight because tomorrow is the live show, but I am currently reading the Smart Women exclusive Patreon review for this month, and it is called The Sight of You, and this is by Ashley Mack, and this is the first book in the Census series. So I'm excited to read this. This is another new to me author, and the theme this month was just contemporary, so any contemporary, and this is the one that won the poll. So I'm about 15%, like I said, so I will read more, and hopefully I can get through most of it tonight. I don't know if it has an audiobook or not, but I might have to pick up the audiobook if there is one tomorrow at work, but I'll probably check that before I decide how much I read tonight. And then otherwise, that is all I really have for updates, so let's do the quest calendar. If this is my first weekly vlog that you are watching, I have been playing the 2022 quest calendar, which is the Gates of Terralon. This is created by Sundial Games. This is a daily calendar with Saturdays and Sundays combined, and it is a role-playing game so it's based off of the kind of system that like Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinders, D20 based games are, like that kind of system. So it's very fun. There's a lot going on. So a brief rundown is we have been tasked to go world to world by a world watcher, and there are gates to each world. So the demon gate broke, shattered, something happened to it, and shards of it entered each world. So we have been going from world to world to collect these shards so we can reassemble the gate and basically save the universe from imploding is kind of what I'm getting. So that is what we are currently doing. And we have been on the world that is kind of based around like light. And so we are getting close to leaving it and heading to possibly a new world. I don't know how many worlds there's supposed to be, but we are playing as Savani Moonchaser. She is the monk class and her race is a feline, so she is a cat person. And if you did not know, I am a cat person, just in a different way. Okay, so let us move on. Okay, so last Friday, we found a treasure box that we have the key for, and I chose to keep the divine helmet, so we have that new piece of treasure. We can only pick one of the three. Now, just as a quick little aside, if there is script text on this page, that is the story that we are playing, and then all of the like blocked font that's in a box, this is like the mechanics of what we have to do to play the game. And then all of the information that we need, like based on what we roll and stats, is on the back of the previous day page. So, oh, okay, it looks like we found the portal or the gate to leave this world. And that up there, I'm guessing, is the Guardian. Usually we have to fight the Guardian before we get through. And usually they have a riddle that we can solve to kind of give us some bonuses. So, let us see. You enter a large chamber lined by tall columns. A glowing figure hovers high in the air. The Terralon gate lies just beyond. A loud voice speaks a riddle. I am what remains when all is done. Everything hangs in me until you've won. Tip me to your favor and you'll have it all. Lose me and you'll surely fall. What am I? Okay, so then 1 is guess the answer to the riddle before checking the solution. And then we have 3 options for 2. So 2A is sprint to reach the gate, which is a dexterity-based roll. 2B is sneak to the gate undetected, also dex-based. And then 2C is prepared for battle, which is a strength-based. So, number 1, let me see if there's any other... Okay, this says guess the answer to the riddle. So, I am what remains when all is done. Everything hangs in me until you've won. Tip me to your favor and you'll have it all. Lose me and you'll surely fall. I mean, everything hangs in me. That makes me think of like everything hangs in the balance. And tip me to your favor makes me also think of like balancing like the scales of justice. I am what remains when all is done. I'm gonna go with like balance, so let us see. Okay, yep, any form of the word balance is a valid answer. So we got it right. Sweet. I think we've gotten all of the riddles correct so far. If you answered this correctly, gain a +2 to all combat rolls tomorrow. So yep, tomorrow we are fighting the Guardian. So I am going to choose 2. So I want to either sneak or sprint because those are both dex-based, which is we are a dex-based character. And we can either be an athlete or be stealthy. Now, we do have both of those skills, but we get an extra +2 from our follower for athlete, but I feel like our character would more quietly sneak to the gate. So we're going to go option 2B, quietly sneak to the gate. So our dexterity is a +6, and then stealthy gives us another +2. So we have a +8 to whatever we roll in our d20. And this is one of the 7 set of dice that actually came with the game. So they are all very tiny. Very cute. Okay, so we rolled a 13, so that is 21. Okay, if the result is 15 or more, you move quietly as you stay close to the pillars and keep to the shadows. You are able to sneak closer to the gate. Gain a +2 to your defense tomorrow. Cool. So we get a +2 to all combat rolls and a +2 to our defense for tomorrow. So that is awesome. And that is all that we have for today. So I will see you all tomorrow. I hope you have a good Monday. I can't believe we're already at the last week of September. Today, this weekend has been a little bit rough. I wasn't really going to get into it, but today is September 25th, and today is the day that my mom passed. And it has been 7 years, and I cannot believe she passed in 2015. And I just cannot believe that it's been 7 years, because it feels like it's been a lot longer, or a lot shorter than that, and also a lot longer. But yesterday was not a good day for me mentally. I hardly got out of bed, but today I at least had things to do. I read a little bit. I did laundry. I did not fold it and put it away, but I did it. But I washed my bed, so I got my bed all made finally for the first time since I moved in here, and I was able to kind of keep myself busy today with the 3 different games and stuff. But if I seemed down at the end of last week's vlog, or if I kind of seem slightly out of it the rest of this week, this is just a very sensitive time for me, especially because not only do we have that, but as we get closer to the holidays, it's just kind of hard. So, but yeah, I'll stop rambling and I'll stop being sad at you. So I will see you all tomorrow, and I hope you have a good Monday. Hello, happy Monday. It is about 8:45 Monday evening, and I have some updates. So let's start with bookish. I did finish like 6 minutes before our meeting tonight, The Sight of You by Ashley Mack. I read this for the Smart Woman Read Romance exclusive Patreon review, and I'm gonna give this 4 stars. I was thinking 4.5, but I'm gonna knock it back down to just an even 4 stars. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this a lot. Now, is it perfect? No. Is there definitely some character things that could be tightened up? For sure. Was there some funky POV stuff? Yes. But I don't know if I hate it. So it's triple POV. So it has the normal dual POV of Alina and Brody, or Allie and Brody. But then there is a them POV that's almost like third person narrator POV kind of a thing. And it was odd, but I don't know if I hated it, because it definitely gave the book a more kind of cinematic feel at parts. I feel like I wish it either happened less or it happened more. It was kind of in between there for me. But I definitely enjoyed this. Now, I do have to say, this is a 4 stars for what it is. A slightly dark debut author. I think if I compared this to other books I've read, it would definitely be rated lower, but for it being a debut book, this is one of the best debut books I have read this year. Not the best, though. That still is going to 2nd star to the left, because I'm obsessed with Megan Van Dyke. Yes, I brought her up in another video. I cannot. But yeah, so I'm going to give this 4 stars. I enjoyed it for sure. It did not work for Bang in the Night, so that is unfortunate. But for Fall in Love, I'm going to use this for Book Wrecked to You, because this is a book that was wrecked to the Patreon, and then we all voted. So I'm counting it as a roundabout way of being rec to me. And then for the Color Me Romantic, I'm going to use this for the sky blue prompt, which is either a sky on the cover, or it has a pilot character, or it takes place in an airport, and there is a scene in an airport. So I'm going to count it because that's kind of something odd to fill prompt-wise. I know skies are easy to meet on covers, but I'm trying to fill up the non-easy prompts as much as I can first, just so if it does come to it, I can easily find a book that has a sky on it or something like that. So I thought that would be a fun one to use for the airport. So there is that. Now, if I can... Oh, I had to charge my iPad, so hold on 1 second. I need to pull up my to-do list because this weekend is the live show for A Court of Wings and Ruin, and I kind of need to start that. But I want to start it with the graphic audio, and it's already almost 9 o'clock, so I don't think I want to start it tonight. So where is my to-do list? Books. It's under the books section because I try to make things easy on myself. Okay, so the other books I had on my TBR for this month is Space Cowgirl by Sarah L. Hudson, Finding You by Lena Hendricks, and the next book in an Alessa Thorne series. So I'm leaning towards the Lena Hendricks because technically I already finished a book. I did Gold Rush for continuing a series, and that was the same for Space Cowgirl. And then I also read, what was my other TBR one for this month? Who else did I pick up? Oh, Tracy Lauren. I read In the Arms of an Android, which is one of the two authors I chose for continue their backlist. So since I technically already fulfilled those prompts, I think I'm going to go for the Lena Hendricks next. But I gotta say, I'm really leaning towards Space Cowgirl. But at the same time, I also have been really needing to read more paranormal and fantasy romances. So I might just have to shift those books to later. If I pick up the Alessa Thorne, technically that's more, I consider that more fantasy because we're dealing with gods and like mythology. So I consider that fantasy, not paranormal. I wonder how many pages Finding You is. Okay, this will be the test. How long is Finding You? I definitely want to read Finding You. But I'm thinking this will fit more for the Color Me Romantic and the Fall in Love. Watch is going off here. Readathons, and I really want to try to pick books that will fulfill prompts for Bang in the Night. So let me, and I kind of already used my silly one of Pumpkin Spice Vibes. So I need Finding You. Whoa, why are we reloading here? I'm halfway typing and all of a sudden things are spinning. Okay, Chickaloo Falls. Yes. How many pages? Ooh, it's only 258 pages. Okay. I'm going to shift Finding You to November. It is official. I'm going to shift it to November. Or if I have some free time and I finish Bang in the Night early or something like that. I think I really do need to focus on Bang in the Night Bingo, because I want to try to get that one done as soon as I can, and that is a larger one. I also want to try to pick books See, this is what I go through. This is why it's like people who like sit down to pick something on Netflix and they spend half an hour finding something and then they sit down to like eat and watch it and they're done in 10 minutes. I have problems, guys. I have problems trying to figure out what to read at times. So let me look at my Bang in the Night loose TBR here. So I definitely want to go something more paranormal or sci-fi. Ooh. I think I'm going to go with... Okay, yeah. And this, yes. We're going to go with this. We're going to read Halloween Boo by Sarah Spade. If I remember correctly, this is like a loose retelling or heavily inspired by Hocus Pocus. It is a novella that says it's just over 100 pages. I believe it is on KU. So I'm going to read this next because at the very least I can use it for something. It's got a ghost MC, so perfect. I can cover the ghost prompt and get that done for Bang in the Night. So yes, I'm going to be reading Halloween Boo next. And I'm going to open my Kindle and I'm going to download it while I'm here. So in the meantime, I did get Halloween. Helps if I know how to spell. Results from Kindle. Okay. I did receive a couple pieces of mail today. So, first off is art print. We're going to open the art print first. I know what it is. I ordered it. And it is here before the book is out. But, look at it. It's so pretty. So, if you did not know... Okay. Even, like, there's an even extra little spoilery thing. Okay, cool. So, this is art of Jules and her vampire bow, which will be in Resting Witch Face, which as of now still comes out October 31st, which is the 5th book in the Juliet Crosses Staying Spell series. Oh, look how cute they are. I love the little hint of fang on him. It is so cute. Oh, I love it. I saw this artwork a little bit ago in what did I see this in? Oh, on her Patreon. And then she opened up orders. So I did get a discount. And on the back of it is an Empress ink sticker. Look at that. Which is Violet's tattoo shop. This will definitely be made into a magnet and will go either on a special spot on my bookshelf or on my cart. But I'm going to put everything back in its nice pretty packaging and leave it so I don't damage it. I'm so excited. I love it. It's so cool. And then I also did get a couple other things today. So, okay, I lied. Halloween Boo is not... Or no, it is. It is available on Kindle Unlimited. But you can also buy it. And I was confused because I apparently bought it previously. So I already had it, just not via Kindle Unlimited. I must have bought it last year or whenever it was making the rounds. Cool. I'm excited. And this will be my first super Halloween-y read. And then, okay, I have this huge box here. But this huge box is my Hirschner's order. So last week or the week before in my vlog, I talked about how I completely screwed up And I used the yarn I was going to use for my brother's girlfriend's sweater on Hattie's sweater. So from an adult medium to a child's size 8. So I did not have enough yarn for her sweater anymore. So I had to find some yarn, and couldn't really find anything I was wanting. So I decided to look at Hirschner's, and they were having an autumn sale. And I found this gorgeous. It looks a little brighter on the camera, but this is like a darky, maybe not too super dark, but it's definitely like a forest evergreen color. They call this just green, I guess. But this is from Sundance Charmed. It's a 4-weight. It's very soft. It's 100% acrylic, but it is super soft. And I decided to go for this one because it had really good reviews. And this skein, it has 100 grams. It has 181 yards, which is decent. But this was $1.50. So it was cheaper to get what I needed in yardage in this with extra than it was to get what I was originally looking at getting. So I had to get new yarn for her. And then, so I got that. And then I needed some accent parfait yarn for a stuffy I'm making, and I didn't need a full skein, but I didn't have any of the bright colors, so I got these two. I got the green and the blue, and I got a yellow, and this looks pale yellow, but this is more of like a bright sunshiny yellow. And then I got a pink. So these 4 together, and then these will be accent colors. And then I got another 2 skeins of white because I didn't have enough. So I would have enough, but I got extras because it's always good to overestimate than underestimate, because I hate playing yarn chicken. So I got these, and these are super soft. This is similar to the Bernat blanket yarn, and it's like that chenille yarn, and it's super cozy. I love making like stuffed animals and pillows out of this because the yarn is so poofy. It's so forgiving and like holes in the fabric. I love this stuff. I made last year, I'll put a picture of it. Last year out of this yarn, I went all out. I have a friend who's super into Hocus Pocus, and so I got a blank hardback book, and I dyed the edges of the pages with coffee to make them look like aged, and like the inside pages as well. Not every single page, but like the inside cover pages. And then I made this Hocus Pocus curse book cover and did it. And I did it out of this yarn, which is super crazy. So it's super soft, but it was so much fun, but a lot of little details. So I love working with that yarn. And this is turning into what I bought from yarn. But, you know, I did good. I only needed enough. There is one other project I have to buy yarn for, but what I want to get is a super special light fingering lace weight yarn. And I'm going to need a cake of it. And I want a slight ombre to it. And I want it to stay mostly white. So there is a cake place. I think it's a Dutch. And it's called Woltrum. And so I need to order them. They do have one US approved seller on Etsy, and they usually do take a while to ship. So when I have a little bit of extra to spend, that will probably be the next yarn I'm purchasing. But otherwise, I just need to get a couple special eyes for a fish pillow that I'm going to be making, and that's it. But then I also got, weirdly, I needed fabric for a sweater and then a shawl. So I got this this looks brighter, but this is like a deep purple. I wonder if I can, and this is Red Heart with Love. Let's see if this white can kind of darken it up a little bit. But I like Red Heart with Love. It is also a same medium weight as a lot of the Red Heart Super Savers, but this is just spun a little bit thicker. And so it has a little bit of more like give and air between the strands, and it's definitely a lot softer. And this I've also found I can easily soften in a dryer, and which sounds scary, but there is a way to do it without things shrinking. And then it gets like super duper soft. Plus you get quite a bit more in a skein than the Red Heart Super Savers. So this is the color, in case you were wondering, Grape Jam. So I got this for a sweater. And then unthinkingly, I needed some yarn for a shawl. And I was thinking of doing it a different color, but when I was looking at the website, they were out of the color I already have some of. And nobody else near me had it that wasn't overly priced, so I decided to get some Caron Simply Soft, and for some reason I picked another freaking dark purple, but I think it'll be super pretty. But this is definitely darker than that other one, and it does look almost black in some spaces, but this is the color Plum Perfect. So this is Caron Simply Soft. This is also a 4-weight yarn. I don't know if any of you care about this, but I'm just going with it. But it's a lot thinner of a 4-weight yarn. It very easily can be used. I've seen people substitute this for a lot of DK or 3-weight yarn in projects, and it's definitely a lot thinner. So it's one of those ones that can kind of go between. And I needed a DK weight yarn, but for this shawl that I'm making, and I saw quite a few people made it with Simply Soft, and I like working with Simply Soft. It is very, very soft, and I just don't like to use it as much because it does have this extra sheen to it, so sometimes it does split really easily when you're crocheting with it. But I think this will make a gorgeous shawl. So I needed that just for 4 projects. I had the yarn for everything else, and I kind of screwed myself needing to get this because I used the wrong color on the other one. But I'm actually okay because I think I like this more than the one I originally had picked out for her. So I think it's a happy circumstance. So I just need to figure out what I'm going to start next. And that is the problem, is figuring out what I'm going to start next. And I need to figure it out before Thursday, because Thursday is a crochet and chat that will be on my side of town. And I haven't gone to a crochet and chat or crochet meeting with my local guild since before the pandemic. They have been doing them. They have been back doing them for about 1.5 years, but a lot of the times they're meeting in like different cities and a lot of the times they start at 5. So I wouldn't get there until like maybe 5:30, 6 o'clock if I'm lucky. Or I guess 6 o'clock, 5:30 if I'm lucky. And they're usually only there till like 7. So a lot of the times we'll meet at a restaurant. Like we're meeting at a Culver's on Thursday, which is one of the ones I used to go to. And it's like 5 minutes from my work, which is super nice. So I just need to figure out what to start and start it before then, so I can be at least already somewhat set up and figuring out what's going on. But I'm excited to see some of the ladies, and I hope it's a good turnout. So that was my not as fun mail today, but my number 1 fun mail is I finally got the Fake Crate exclusive editions of Radiance and Eidolon. I did, my boss's grandchild was sick. Her name's Hattie. She's the one who I made the sweater for, who I've showed you guys. She was so, oh my God, her throat sounded so horrible. She sounded like, she kept saying, I have a frog in my throat. And so she ended up coming into work today because she was super sick. And so she wanted to open to see what books I got, but I did not take these ones out of the packaging, but it did come a little bit damaged here. But from what I can tell, it didn't do. And then this is the back. But I am so excited. I think it's absolutely, I mean, I love the original covers, but these are just so gorgeous. Oh, look at that. I don't buy hardbacks very often. I'm not the biggest fan of hardbacks, but these books are absolutely gorgeous. And so I figured I would open them. And I'm going to take the plastic off so you can see the pretty pictures. Although I feel like one of these might be what is on. Yeah, so the one on Radiance. Yeah, so Radiance's cover is the same as the one that's on the protective box. I don't know what to call it. I don't buy hardbacks very often. And I'm so excited. I signed up for notifications as soon as this went live for pre-order. I bought mine because I love Grace Draven, and these are Radiance was one of my favorite books last year, and oh my gosh, look at the foiling on it, on the stars and the moon. And the top of the books are like turquoisey, so let's see what it's like on the inside. Oh my gosh, look at that. That's gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Okay, we gotta see. The back is the same thing. And here's the back. So that is her hair. It goes all the way around. So I'm excited. And let us see. Oh my gosh. Look at, oh, there's artwork on the back of it. I haven't looked at anybody's spoilers. Oh my gosh. Oh, look at this. Oh my god, this is absolutely gorgeous. And it's got that purple foiling. And in the back, so this is Brishan. And then it says Prince of Night, which is what she calls him. This is gorgeous just by itself. Oh my gosh, I am just like, and it's signed in like sparkly pretty pink pen. Ooh, and look at the pretty artwork. Like, it's simple, but look at the pretty artwork on the chapter pages. Oh my gosh. Oop. I love that. That first crack. I'll have to do it with the other one. I don't know if you heard it, but okay, so now this is making me so happy. Oh my gosh. Look at the artwork on the inside of the dust jacket. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it is gorgeous. Oh. This makes me want to reread Radiance. Alright. Honestly, I might have to do a reread sometime soon anyway, because the 3.5 novella comes out on Valentine's Day 2023, so February 14th, and it is based on the cover. I did not look at the blurbs or anything like that. I think based on the cover, we're back with Brishan and Ildiko. I did see that it was a pretty important novella because she's currently working on the 4th book, which I think, if I remember correctly, is The Nomad King. If that's what she said at the end of the Ippos King. So it'll have some like important go-between between the Ippos King and the 4th book. So here is Eidolon. Oh, this foiling is gorgeous. And I love that it's switched, so she's on top now. And then the back. Oh, this is so pretty. Alright, and then it's the same on the inside, except we have a continuation of her hair here. But it's the 3 roses. And this one is signed in sparkly purple. This one was already popped. Or like separated from the spray. Gosh, this is so so pretty. And it does have the same page artwork. So let us see. Okay, I'm going to try not to spoil myself with the inside dust jacket. Ah, it's a deco! So this one is black based with the teal and the purple, and the other one's teal with the black and the purple. Ugh. And then it says Woman of Day. My gosh. These are just too freaking pretty. It's so pretty. I love them so much. Ugh. And then here's the other artwork. Oh my gosh. I need okay, here's the thing. I need another set of the dust jackets so I can have like these ones on display, and then I can have another set of the dust jackets that I can frame and have pretty artwork on. And I'll just like put these up like by themselves so you can see the artwork, and then have the books. Oh my gosh, we gotta look at them together because these, oh, look at them. Oh, they're looking at each other. And then Prince of Night and Woman of Day. These books make me very happy, and this has just made me even more happy. I don't even remember how much I paid for it. I knew it was going to be pricey, but I remember thinking when I checked out, I was like, oh, that's less. But I was thinking it was probably less than the Bridgerton special editions. But these I would have paid a lot more for. These are absolutely freaking stunning and gorgeous. And these are like some of my new treasured books for sure. Oh my gosh. They are so pretty. I can't. I love the artwork, but this speaks to me. It's just so gorgeous. I love it. It is so pretty. So pretty. And then once again, the pretty foiling. Man. So dust jacket artwork is by Hunter Banyan. Interior artwork is by Therese Andreessen. And the embossed artwork is by Rachel Bostick. I will be saving their names, and if I ever do special editions of a book or something like that I'm somehow behind, I will be at the very least contacting Rachel Bostick, because that embossing on those hardcovers is phenomenal. I am obsessed, if you could not tell. Okay, I need to stop losing my mind over those. Okay, we talked about a lot of things. So, I will pull out my quest calendar, and then we will end this clip because it is already super long and I just can't help myself. Okay, I'm going to get out my dice before we go too much farther, because yesterday we did solve the riddle, so we get a +2 to all combat rolls, and then we managed to successfully sneak up to the guardian and the gate, so we get a +2 to our defense as well, which is perfect. So, but since we are fighting, I actually will need more dice than just the d20. I also will need the d12, so I will get those dice out. Okay, so I know we're going to fight the Guardian today because we kind of got hints yesterday. Yep, so we have the Guardian. So it's just to zoom in on the previous picture. So it looks like they will be 4 rounds of just attack and damage. So pretty simple, straightforward. Alrighty, so. Okay, let me kind of move some things over here so I have space to roll dice. Alright. So we will just get into it. So moving forward to attack, I normally have it's in the dark here, a plus 10, but for this page, we will have a plus 12. Our damage is normally a 2d12 plus 3. That'll be the same. And then our defense is normally a 19, but for today, it will be a 21. So, got my d20. Let's just get into it. So, attack is first, and that is a 16. So, we are at 28 with our plus 12. If your attack roll is 18 or more, you hit the Guardian. So, we have to roll damage. And I only have 1d12. So, that is a 9 and a 2. So, 11 plus our 3 is 14. If you hit and your damage roll is 13 or more, the Guardian is stunned this round. So, that means he does not attack us. So, perfect. So, on to round 2. Attack. Nat 20, which for this system doesn't really mean much, just outside of you just rolled really well and most likely will hit. And his attack roll is 18 or more that we need to meet, so I'm not even going to do math because we already have defeated the 18. It could possibly change. Sometimes they change from round to round, so we do have to check. And damage. That is another 9. Weird. And, not a 2. That is a 12. So we have 21 plus our 3. So 24 damage. And we needed 15 or more this round to stun him. So we successfully stun him. On to round 3. And that is a 12. So we are at 24 to hit. And once again, he is an 18 to hit. So we roll damage, 7 and 9, so 16, so 19 total damage. In this round, we need 13 or more to stun him. So our final round, round 4. And that is another natural 20. Okay, all right. We are just killing it today. And then damage. And it was 18 as well. So that is 8 plus 10. So we are 18, 21. Right? Yes. I don't know. My math might have been wrong. If it's wrong, please don't yell at me. Okay, so if you hit and your damage roll is 14 or more, which it is, the Guardian is defeated. We do not kill him, we defeat them. So, if you stunned the Guardian 3 rounds, collect 9 gold. If you also defeated the Guardian, collect another 3 gold. So we get a total of 12 gold. Alrighty, you activate the gate just as you did the last ones. You step through and are teleported to another world. Interesting. Okay, so it didn't say we're going to our home world, so which means that we're probably going to a new world. I'm going to guess. I could be wrong. So we've been to 4 worlds based on the element. We did a lava world, which is fire. We did an airship world, so air. We did the turtle world, which was water-based. We were on a turtle, like an island that's built on the back of a giant turtle, which gave me total One Piece vibes. And we went to like a world where it was like everybody was like up in tree houses and it was like super overrun with like ginormous trees and nature. So that was the Earth world. Then we went to a shadow world, and this one was pretty much like a daylight or just a light-based world. So I don't know. I wonder what we're gonna get next. Are we gonna continue kind of doing these elements, or are we gonna just go super weird or just super normal? I don't know. I mean, maybe something like cosmic-y or space face, like lots of stars and stuff like that. And I don't know, maybe it's Taylor Swift with her whole Midnights thing going on. But I love like stars and moons and stuff anyway. So we shall see. Anyway, I will stop chatting at you because this is another long clip. They've been so long the last week or so, but that's okay. We went through a lot today. I know it was a lot. I'm sorry. Thank you for hanging in there. I know it's only Monday, so we still have 4 more days, but hopefully the rest of the week will go fairly quicker because I don't see too much else happening. But I will be back to see you tomorrow on Tuesday, and I hope you have a good day tomorrow. Happy Tuesday. It is about 11:15. So I'm going to try to be quiet and I'm going to try to do a quick update. So earlier this evening, I finished Halloween Boo. I'm going to give this 5 stars. It was super cute and it was steamier than I expected, but it was really well paced, and there was like, I could feel the actual like intimacy and emotions behind it. It wasn't just steam for steam's sake, or just like a checklist that we have to meet for a holiday novella, but for a Halloween holiday novella that's also based off of Hocus Pocus. I mean, there wasn't really anything else I could want in the story, so I'm gonna give it 5 stars, but with that caveat, it is a 5 stars for a holiday novella, because that 5 stars doesn't have quite the same weight as like 5 stars for a full-length novel, but it was well written. I definitely want to read more. The next book in the series is Allison and Max. So, but that one's Christmas. So I definitely will be reading the next book when I kind of get to my wintry, Christmassy stuff. But I might wait until like December to read it. As for my reading challenges, I used this for Set in Fall, for Fall in Love. And then for Bang in the Night, I used this for Ghosts. And so that is Who You Gonna Call, is what they call that square. And then my Frank Sinatra song is going to be In the Shadow of the Moon. And then for Color Me Romantic, I'm going to do this for Mauve, which for the prompt, clothing on the cover, because he's wearing pants and a witch's hat. So he's not fully clothed, but there is clothing. If you did not know, this is a Hocus Pocus retelling of, well, not really retelling, more Hocus Pocus inspired, and it is Danny and Zach. So he is a ghost in her apartment, and he has fallen in love with her because they've been living together. He's been haunting her for the last 9-10 months, and then on Halloween he gains corporeal form, and they have like from midnight to midnight together, and it was just really sweet and cute, and I loved it. It was really fun, and it was perfect to kind of get me into the like fall Halloween vibes, because even though I have been reading books and genres that I usually read this time of year that give me that cozy feeling, I haven't read anything that's specifically fall or Halloween set. So it was perfect timing, and it was a quick little one-off that I could get into before starting A Court of War and Ruin. I haven't pulled it off my book cart yet. I was going to start it tonight, but it's already almost 11:30. But I did check my Hoopla, and my Hoopla for some reason doesn't have the second part of the graphic audio anymore. So I was thinking I could potentially buy the graphic audio, the second part, or I could just listen to the first part. I checked out the first one, so at the very least I have it for the next 21 days, whether they remove it from the system or not, because if you check it out before they remove it from the system, you can still have it till the end of your checkout. But at least I've found that in stuff that I've checked out. So I don't know. I mean, the third part isn't going to be out until November, but I might at least start it with the graphic audio, and then I don't know if I'll finish the full first part, but we'll see once I start reading it. I can read a little quicker physically. I have the book physically, so I can read it quicker without the graphic audio, but it's just so fun. But I almost feel like I shouldn't with the graphic audio, just because I don't want it to make the rest of the book seem lesser, if that makes sense, and just like to change it in the middle or a third into the reading experience, I feel like could take out some of my enjoyment, just because I had that precedent set rather than going into it reading it without the audio. So we'll see. I still haven't decided yet, as you could probably tell. But otherwise, that's all I have. So let's do the quest calendar. So yesterday we defeated the Guardian in the light world and walked through the portal, which is this big blue area. So let's see what kind of world we're on. I see. I didn't even think of like weather-based. So it looks like we're in a snow world. That's fun. Makes me think of like Hoth, or not Hoth, because Ice Planet Barbarians has ruined, maybe not ruined, but has changed Hoth in my brain. Okay. You find yourself in a harsh environment as you arrive from the portal. Though the air is crisp and fresh and the sky is bright, it isn't long before the cold air and wet snow begin to take their toll on your already exhausted body. You find a place to strike up a fire and take a rest. So 1 is take a rest, and 2 is survive in the cold environment, which is a constitution roll with the skills survivalist, of which we do not have. So alrighty, so number 1 is take a rest, restore your health to full. We only have 1 damage, but I might as well just cross it off. Better than nothing, right? Regain all expended uses of abilities. We don't really have need to use our abilities. I always forget about them, but we haven't really needed them too much. Regain all spell points and chi points. Remove poison condition and curse condition. We didn't have either of those. And then pay all upkeep for any follower. So my follower is 10. So I will just mark him off. Okay, and then change your equipment if you desire. And then remove a single negative modifier caused from a previous death, of which we do not have. So we just healed the 1 and paid our upkeep for our 1 follower. Okay, so survive in the cold environment. So like I said, they said it's a constitution roll. Our constitution is a +1. So let's see. Hopefully we roll decently. Okay, could be worse, could be worse. It's a 12, so we are at a 13. Okay. The cold air and wet environment does not bode well for a good rest, but you manage to build a small fire to keep you warm while you rest. Reduce your health by 4. Holy moly. Okay, so let me just take a look and see what we have, because we might be able to give us something here. That's a defense. Those are for statuses. Those for... Okay, I'm going to use a chi point for meditate. and that will give us a d6 bonus to all rolls. So I'm gonna try that, and hopefully we'll get a 2 or more. So we'll use HE point. I mean, we don't use them anyway, and we might as well. So I need to get out the d6, and as long as we roll a 2, we should do better. And that is a 5, so we are okay. So that makes our grand total, it was 12, 13, so we are a grand total of 18. So if the result is 15 or more, you found decent shelter and managed to put together a nice fire and warm yourself up while you take a rest. Cool. Alrighty, so we have used a chi point. So that is all taken care of, and we have successfully rested without taking damage, which helps. That's kind of why I like to save stuff for when I absolutely need it. And 4 damage isn't that bad, but I've been trying to keep us low on damage in case we end up fighting something that does big damage. Alrighty, so that is everything I have for you tonight. Tomorrow is Wednesday. I hope you have a good hump day, and I will see you all tomorrow. Hello, happy Thursday. I did it again. I did not update last night, but that is okay. I ended up watching Bachelor in Paradise and then spending the rest of the night reading. So I picked up A Court of Wings and Ruin now for a while now, and you may have heard me say it wrong on my videos. I very well could have. I know that, like, because it's ACOTAR, ACOMAF, and ACOWAR, because it's ACOWAR. So I've been saying A Court of War and Ruin, which still makes sense. And this is like the big war book, but if I have said it wrong all this time, I am sorry. But last night I got about 200 pages in. I'm now 256. And this is so good. I am glad we did not spend too much time with Feyre still in the spring court. I wasn't sure how long we were going to spend there, and I felt like it was the perfect amount of time. Like, we weren't there too long, but it wasn't there too short. And the way that she was able to kind of like manipulate everybody and push them and use like their own worst traits against themselves. And then Lucien, she ends up saving Lucien, and then she takes him with her. Oh man, Lucien and Elena are killing me. I feel so bad for Lucien, and Elena is just so bereft, and it breaks my heart. But at the same time, I'm like, your fated mate is right there. Lucien's right there. He will do whatever he can to make you feel better and to help you heal. Like what Rhys did for Feyre. And I get it, Lucien's not Rhys, but I'm just like, it's breaking my heart for Lucien. And I feel bad for Elaine. And I might have just called her Elena, but I don't know. Guys, my brain is just kaput. It is about 10 o'clock, so I totally forgot to film my Q4 releases video, so I just filmed that real quick, and that is editing. So hopefully I will have that up, and then I need to work on my October wrap-up to get that up for this weekend as well, but because I've just been kind of down to one video for the most part. It was like, oh, wait, I have all these other videos I need to work on, but that's okay. It's fine. I'll do what I can. But yeah, I am enjoying this. I'm hoping that I can kind of keep with the same pace, and that I can kind of get through page 400, 450-ish tonight. And then that will just leave like 250 to 300 pages to read tomorrow before the live show on Saturday. So we will see. If I have to, I can finish the rest of it Saturday during the day. I did decide to not do any of the graphic audio. I just decided to read it. Although it's funny because I listened to the first two with the graphic audio, and the only voice that I feel like I'm hearing from the graphic audio is Amren's voice. Like, I hear that deeper woman's voice for Amren. And it's just weird that hers is the one that has stuck in my head the most. And maybe it's because, like, we didn't just read Echo Math, but it's just, I thought it was interesting that hers was the one that when I start reading them and it's in, you know, my head voice, it's like my brain's like, oh wait, this is Amren speaking. And then I imagine it's like my head voice doing a bad copy of Amren's voice actor in my head. And she's the only one that, like, my brain is fixing to be right. So I don't know. I thought it was really interesting, but I definitely can't wait for the rest of the graphic audio to come out and reread it, because apparently that's my thing now, is just to reread Sarah J. Maas books right after I just read them. So, man, I've been missing out all this time. But anyway, that is where I'm at on this. I'm definitely enjoying it. I can see how people dislike Nesta. I know a lot of people don't like Nesta. She has some characteristics, and I can tell that there is a lot that she is, like, hiding or burying. And while we just shut down in different ways, but I feel like there is depression or a lot of stuff happening internally for her, and she's kind of really building up these walls and shutting herself down. But she's shutting herself down in a different way than I did when I was really struggling with my depression. So I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot there, and so far I haven't really jumped aboard the hate train for anybody except for Kale. I don't know why. Kale just really bothers me. I mean, even then, it's not hate. I just would rather be reading somebody else's POV. But yeah, so I can see why people don't like Nesta, but I don't know. I can see the writing on the wall, and I know she gets her own book, but I feel like there's a lot more there that we aren't seeing. And maybe because I am somebody who has struggled with depression, I am noticing the tiny signs and, you know, the little things that, like the little nuances that I'm like, I think this is this. Like, those are, I'm picking up on those. And I can see how if someone isn't aware of those signs or hasn't really struggled through something themselves, because I can even, like, or even been around somebody, I feel like, because you might be able to see some of the signs if you know somebody who struggled with mental health issues, but I don't know. And I could be completely off base, but I feel like, I mean, at the very least, they have PTSD from being thrown into the cauldron, but I feel like there's more with Nesta because she was fairly cold beforehand, so there's got to be something, man. There's got to be something. But anyway, I'll stop talking about this. I'm loving it so far. And every time I pick up this book to read it, I'm just so grateful that I was able to find these old covers because they are so pretty. And I wish that we had a cover like this for Nesta. But the collector in me wants to get the hardbacks in the new versions and then collect the pretty dust jackets, so I can have the pretty original covers, and then I can have the new covers with the dust jackets. And I saw they're redoing all of the Throne of Glass covers too. But I just bought, at the beginning of this read-along, they had all of her Throne of Glass books were on sale. And so I got them all in paperback. And now part of me wants the new ones. But I want to get them in hardback. So if I can find somebody that does Throne of Glass dust covers, I'm sure they're out there, then I could have pretty art on those ones. God, I can't. Guys, I'm a collector and I need to stop collecting. But it's hard because I totally understand this, and I totally understand why people go crazy over Sarah J. Maas, and I'm going completely crazy over Sarah J. Maas myself as well. So yeah. Why are they so expensive? They're just books. All right, anyway, I will stop. I need to stop. So we have 2 days of quest calendar to catch up on. So let's get into it. On Tuesday, we landed in a new world that is snow and cold based. Ooh, it's like a Yeti monster. Okay. As you wake from your rest, you see snow has begun to fall and a light fog surrounds the area. Visibility is low. You begin to plan your journey when a snow goblin wanders into your location. Okay, so it looks like there's going to be 2 rounds of just attack and damage. Aww. The note says, "Happy anniversary, Matt. Love you, Caitlin." I feel like Matt's the creator of the game, and the creator of Sundial. That's cute. Alright, so. Alrighty, so round 1, and our attack is a +10, so I will roll our d20 here. And that is a 12, so 22. Alright, 16 or more, you hit the snow goblin. And we are at 2d12 plus 3. So that is a 12 and a 4. So 16, 17, 18, 19. If you hit and your damage roll is 13 or more, the snow goblin is stunned. Perfect. So he does not attack us. And we will go on to round 2. That is an 18, so 28. And once again, we needed 16 to hit. So damage is a 9 and a 7. So 16, so 19 again. If you hit and your damage roll is 14 or more, the snow goblin dies. Cool. So if you stun the snow goblin 1 round, collect 1 gold. If you also killed the snow goblin, collect 1 additional gold. So we'll get 2 gold from defeating, that's not the right page, the snow goblin. So that was yesterday, so let's see what today's was. Oh! He's got some friends! Alright, so it looks like this time we'll have to do 3 different goblins, 1 round each, and we'll also have to make a strength roll. I'm guessing that might be something to do with their mounts. Okay. The snow goblin is joined by a pack of others also riding winter beasts. They quickly surround you and attack while you are vulnerable in the cold. Alrighty. So, just make sure. Okay, that was yesterday's. Here is today's. Alrighty. So we'll just get into it. So, our attack roll. That is a 7, so 17. Ooh, the attack roll is 16 or more, just barely. So damage is a 12 and an 8, so we are at 23. If you hit and your damage roll is 13 or more, the snow goblin dies. Okay, on to goblin number 2. Alrighty, that is a 13. So we are at 23. And if your attack roll is 17 or more on this one, you hit. So damage. And that is a 2. and a 10, so 12, 13, 14, 15. If you hit and your damage roll is 11 or more, the snow goblin dies, so perfect. And then goblin number oh wait. Okay, so the strength roll is if they hit us and we get gored by the winter beast. So we roll a strength to become weakened. I was like, oh wait, but no, we were doing it right. We were not injured, so we didn't have to make the strength roll. So final one, 15 on the dice, so a total of 25. And this one we needed a 16 or more to hit. Okay, goblin number 3's damage. That is a 2 and an 8, so 12, 13, 14, 15. Alright, and the damage we needed is 13 or more to kill the third snow goblin. Alright, so if you killed 3 snow goblins, collect 3 gold. More goblins from the pack arrive and overwhelm you. You get weaker as the cold gets to you. The goblins take you prisoner. Again? When we landed in the shadow world, we were immediately taken prisoner by some witches. And then we were okay in the light world, except there was other stuff going on. But it's weird that already we were taken prisoner again after just entering the world. But whatever. I will add 5 gold to our inventory. And that is it for the quest calendar today. So tomorrow is Friday. I will try to remember to update you. The last couple Fridays I haven't done it till later. Or maybe I did film it last Friday. I don't know. But whatever. I hope you have had a good week. And tomorrow is a good Friday for you as well. Hello. Happy Friday. I don't have too much to close out this week. So first off, it's about 8 o'clock. I just got done watching the new episode of Lord of the Rings of Power. It was really fun to see the southern town where we've been getting together be rescued by like Halbrand and Galadriel and all of the forces from Numenor. And I'm very intrigued to see what's going to happen. And I wasn't quite sure because there was a second in it where I wasn't sure if Bronwyn was going to recognize Halbrand as the rightful heir. And we saw her recognize the little satchel he has that marks him as the king. But I wasn't sure if she was going to acknowledge it out loud and what was going to happen. So, I don't know. But I'm excited to see what's going to happen. Also, if you are watching, please tell me you had a similar thought when Galadriel was interrogating the head Uruk Adar, I think is what they call him. I'm so bad at remembering names, and it's been a while since I've heard his name because I feel like the orcs and the Uruks used to chant it, but I think Adar, whatever it is, it's father in Elven. I don't know, Galadriel had him tied up, and technically he's the villain, but Sheila got really close, and I just instantly was like, ooh, this would be a good enemies to lovers. And I'm sure there's lots of fantasy out there like that, but I was just like, ooh, that'd be interesting. Although I don't know if I necessarily like him for Galadriel, but just the, trope of the dark and the light, and she's trying to destroy the person that basically gave him life. And it's just so interesting because they both have such different views of the world, and Morgoth, and Sauron and everything. We didn't get to see much of the hobbits, or I guess they're Harfoot, because these are the hobbits' ancestors. But I'm okay with that because I'm liking that they're giving some characters or parts of the storyline time to breathe. But we also didn't get any dwarves. And because we're not in Numenor anymore. We had a couple of scenes on the boats traveling to the Southlands, but most of this episode was in the Southlands, outside of them traveling on the ocean. So I do wish we got to see a little bit of what was going on with one of the other groups of people in the world, just because we were stuck in the Southlands for most of the episode. But otherwise, I'm still really enjoying it. It's probably my least favorite episode so far, but that's because it was mostly fighting, and while I enjoy action scenes, I'm not a big fan of like war action scenes. And man, and then that old guy that stole the sword, and all right, anyway, I'm gonna stop because my mind is just racing. I cannot wait to listen to my podcast that I'm listening to. I'll link their website down below. I'm doing the post-show recaps one because the two people that do it are huge Tolkien heads, and one of the guys is actually a huge D&D person as well, and I'm really enjoying their takes and their thought process because I enjoy Tolkien, but I wouldn't say I'm a Tolkien head. But I definitely enjoy all of the fantasy that has come into the world because of Tolkien. So he is like the godfather of fantasy, but it just makes me want to read more fantasy romance. But I need to kind of read other things right now as much as I can. But anyway. See, I just get rambling and you cannot stop me. All right, so last night I did read a little bit more of Court of Wings and Ruin. Hey, look, I said it right this time. I am at 400 and something. I am at 480, so I'm just about ready to start High Lady, which is part 3. I was up too late last night because I was like, okay, I wasn't going to get as far as I wanted to read. And then I was like, well, we're in this middle of this huge battle in Summer Court. And I was like, okay, let me just kind of skim through. And I looked at like to the next chapter and I read like the first sentence and I was like, okay, we're still in battle. And then I saw there was only 2 chapters to read to get out of the battle because I didn't want to stop in the middle of this huge battle. And I was just like, oh my gosh, okay. And then there was just so much going on, I couldn't put it down. So my plan tonight is to get as close as I can to finishing this. And then that way I can count this as a finished book in September. But depending on how much, if I only have like less than 100 pages left, I'm still probably going to count it in my September stats anyway. But we shall see what happens. But yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot. Oh, there was one thing. There is one thing. So I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant. So where I updated you yesterday, I mentioned that I am very nervous and heartbroken and bittersweet and all of the things about Luthien and Elaine. No joke. In the next chapter, it felt like it was only like 2 pages, but maybe it was like 4 or 5. Not Nesta. Feyre says something like, why couldn't Azriel be Elaine's mate? Why would she say that? Why is she thinking to pair Elaine with Azriel? That seemed really weird to me. I mean, it could be because she's with Rhys and her, and then it seems like Cassian and Nesta have a thing going on. So maybe she thought, oh, the 3 brothers with the 3 sisters kind of a thing. But it just seems so weird to me. And Azriel isn't really looking at Elaine like he wants her in that way. He's definitely taking care of her. But he also has been through a lot of trauma himself, and he's a very quiet person. And that is kind of how Elaine is living, is in quiet right now. And I didn't like that Feyre kept mentioning it like 3 or 4 times with Rhys. And then she's talking about, well, what if how mates came to be, who decides, what decides. And yes, there are examples of mates not having a happy relationship. But what makes you think that Lucien and Elaine would have that type of relationship? I mean, the way that Rhys talks about it, I don't think it will ever happen. But the way that Rhys talks about it is, yeah, you spend thousands of years with someone. Kind of sometimes you grow apart, or sometimes you find that certain things aren't enough to keep the relationship healthy. And in my brain, I'm thinking, yeah, it could happen to you too, Feyre. So this is the first time she's really kind of bothered me, and I didn't like it. I didn't like that she kept kind of mentioning it, and then she kind of was like sending Azriel to go with Elaine a lot. And so I feel like she's trying to matchmake them, but I don't know why. And this is after she goes into Lucien's head and sees the longing and the sorrow and all of the emotions that he has for Elaine. And then she thinks, what would I do if I lost Rhys? How would I be able to cope with that if Rhys ended up falling in love and rejecting me and all these things? But yet she's almost kind of planting the idea to do this to Lucien, who's supposedly her friend. And I get there's issues between them. But I was kind of struggling with Feyre in that moment, and I don't really understand the pairing. It doesn't make sense to me as of right now. I don't see Azriel and Elaine making a good... I don't know, they're too similar to me. I don't know, and maybe it's because I already know that Lucien's her fated mate, and I understand how... maybe if this does get drawn out, I hope it doesn't get drawn out, but I can understand the sense of agency that might be coming into play here and the commentary made on that. But if you're establishing the precedent for fated mates and that rejections happen, but they don't happen very often, and that it is harder for the male to do that and to be the one that's rejected, and this was a tiny little scene, and as you can see, I have been spiraling about it. But I just like it. I dislike it a lot. Plus, not to be mean to Feyre, but, Elaine changed. Even before. Feyre didn't know her as Elaine the human before she was turned. How she fell in love with this human and was gonna marry him. Like, Feyre missed out on a big chunk of their lives. She was kind of separated from them even when they were all living together. But, like, she may know her core, but she has also changed. Let alone the fact that she is now changed by the cauldron. And, she's a seer now, and she's Fae, and so she's going through all of these other changes even more, and I disliked her thinking that she knows what's best for Elaine. Maybe trust Nesta a little bit more on this. Nesta is also wary of Azriel, but Nesta is wary of everybody. But I don't know. I really, really hope that that's not what's getting set up, because I might not be super happy with that. But I'm trying not to spiral more than I already have, which, as you can tell, is an issue for me sometimes. But I just... if fated mates is gonna be a thing, I don't want to see... I don't want to see that. And I don't want Feyre push... And like I said, my biggest issue was she kind of planting it in Rhys's mind and bringing it up a couple of times when she knows herself that she could not handle that if the same situation was forced upon her. So why are you almost planting this in other people's mind around you and pushing Azriel and Elaine together when you wouldn't want it to happen to yourself, but you're okay potentially helping cause this or helping push this thing to happen between Azriel and Elaine. So yeah, I'm gonna stop. I just struggle with it. And I just hope that that's not going to be the case. So, all right. I'm going to drink some tea, calm my emotions. I did the tea I'm drinking tonight. Here, I'll turn around so you can see the pretty. I did Bigelow's tea, and I did a bag of their hot cinnamon and a bag of their pumpkin spice to just amp up the cinnamon, and it's really good. And then I added a touch of vanilla sugar to it because I thought that'd go well with the pumpkin spice bag. So I love the cozy fall vibes. Alrighty, so now that I have rambled on at you for a lot longer than I expected, which is not the first time and will not be the last. Yesterday, during the quest calendar, we were attacked and we did defeat 3 of these snow goblins, frost goblins, whatever they called them, and their beasts, but were eventually captured by the rest of the herd. So, okay. Yep, we are chained to one of them, it looks like. I'm guessing this goes to us. So hopefully we will get the chance to escape. The snow goblins that captured you have got you locked in chains and are pulling you in tow behind their winter beasts. They at least gave you a warm fur so you would not freeze in the cold. Oh, that's nice. Before they could sell you as a slave. Okay, I spoke too soon. So, A, pick the lock on your chains, which is a dexterity roll reminder locksmith. And B, pull the chain and the winter beast, which is roll d20 strength reminder animal tamer. So our dex is better. But we do have animal tamer, which is helpful. So we're going to try dex first. So our dexterity is a +6, and we do not have locksmith. Yeah, we're going to try this first. We're going to see if we can kind of sneak away first. So, I rolled a 15 already, so that is an 11. 15 plus 6 is not 11. That's 21. I don't know why I just -10. My gosh. Okay, if the result is 15 or more, you pick the lock and get free from the chains. You drop them and leave the snow goblins to continue walking away from you while you run off in another direction. They continue on and never notice you escaped. Okay, so alrighty. That was easy enough outside of my horrendous math skills there. Oh, and I just dropped my dice. Okay. That is everything for this week. I hope you had a good week 39. I can't believe next week is already week 40. That is so crazy. I can't believe tomorrow's October. We only have 3 months left in the year. Oh, my local Walmart. I went to the store after work today and they had most of their Christmas stuff out and I just couldn't resist because they had all the trees on and the lights, and so I walked through a couple of the aisles and I saw some cute things. I didn't buy anything. I almost bought a couple little cute reindeers that were made out of like knit sweater material. But part of me was like, no, I don't need to buy Christmas stuff. But then I was like, but they're putting them out so early. By the time I want to buy Christmas stuff, they might not be in stock anymore. But I did make sure to check and see if they put up any of usually there's a couple little sections of like Bronco Nuggets and and like Avalanche and local sports team Christmas things. So hats, signs for the door, ornaments, knickknacks, a bunch of different things, and I did not see any because I was hoping they might have something Stanley Cup wise that I could get for Christmas time, but I didn't see anything yet. But they didn't completely have everything out yet, so we will see. But I'll just kind of have to keep checking them every once in a while and see if maybe they might get something in stock. But anyway, I hope you had a great week. I can't believe that we are headed into October. Hopefully I will have my October TBR plans going up. I'll link them up above here. They should be up before this video goes out. But we will see. I'm guessing because things are still kind of in flux, I'm going to do a loose TBR again. But we will see what happens. Feel free to comment below if you have any thoughts, questions, concerns, anything fun, any romance recommendations. And if you watched Lord of the Rings, please let me know if you were getting the same vibes between Adar and Galadriel, because that could be fun. That could be fun. But anyway, I will see you all very soon.